Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So there has been another twist in this Mason Mount transfer. Is it a saga yet? Manchester United are apparently pulling out of the race, or according to the reports, pulling out of the race for Mason Mount and targeting their efforts on Moises Caicedo of Brighton. A complete shift for Manchester United, but it's something that's being reported at this moment in time by the Times, and we're going to get stuck into those reports as it looks like Mason Mount could be off, but Moises Caicedo could be on for Manchester United. Before we get stuck into this report, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, you're liking, commenting, sharing. As always, we'll have almost daily videos for you guys on the channel. We'll obviously have reports and videos reacting to all the latest transfer news and reports, the takeover stuff. We've got pre-season coming up. We're over there in America as well. So we'll have plenty of stuff for you guys. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button on this video and of course on this channel, and of course on Stretford Paddock as well. Right then, let's get stuck into this report. It comes from the Times. It comes from Jonathan Northcroft. And we hear Man United have dropped interest in Mason Mount and are now preparing a bid for Moises Caicedo. As well as preparing a bid for Moises Caicedo, Manchester United will also step up attempts to sign a new centre forward, with Rasmus Højlund and Randall Kolo Muani the primary options being looked at. Mohamed Kudus is another who could come under consideration. Mohamed Kudus has also been linked, interestingly enough, to Brighton. Brighton value Moises Caicedo at around £80 million, considerably more than the 58 million plus 7 million in add-ons Chelsea are demanding for Mason Mount. But Man United are prepared to take into account his younger age and different contract situation. Remember, Moises Caicedo recently signed a new deal with Brighton when it looked like he could be joining Arsenal in January. It says Manchester United have been maintaining a dialogue with Moises Caicedo's representatives while going for Mason Mount, and will now intensify efforts to explore a deal. There is a sympathy at Manchester United for Mason Mount. The offer of 55 million will be left on the table, and there could still be room for a compromise with Chelsea if they are willing to enter talks about closing out a deal at around that mark. Now, we heard when Manchester United had made that bid of 50 million plus 5 million for Mason Mount, it was rejected, but Chelsea said we'd take 58 million plus 7 million in add-ons, and we're happy to sit at the table and negotiate. So if this is to be believed, it looks like Manchester United have said we're not looking to negotiate any further, and that £55 million offer is still on the table, as we still want to sign Mason Mount. But it looks like Chelsea could be being very stubborn about that. It says there is a belief at Manchester United that Chelsea are trying to apply a Manchester United tax to the Mason Mount deal. It's been noted that Chelsea were willing to do a deal swiftly with Man City over Mateo Kovacic in a deal for just £30 million. Ten Hag is thought to be on board with the decision to switch midfield targets due to Manchester United's limited budget. Despite being keen on Mason Mount, Ten Hag wants to use that budget efficiently and to not overpay for players. Now, this could mean United now sign only one midfielder instead of two. Moises Caicedo would be a really, really, really good option for Manchester United. And it'd be obviously a different profile of midfielder to that one of Mason Mount, but someone that, you could stick him alongside Casemiro. You'd have, a great option there as a replacement for Casemiro as well. If Casemiro is getting suspended, or, you're throttling someone and getting a red card or something, then you could always play Caicedo in that position. So it'd give us great options in there. Is a different profile of midfielder. I do want Mason Mount, to be totally honest with you, and I'd love Moises Caicedo. I think we need both profile of midfielder. But with the fact that we also need a goalkeeper, we're being linked with Andre Onana for a deal believed to be around 40 million plus add-ons or 50 million plus add-ons, depending on who you believe in the press. We're being linked with Andre Onana. We're being linked with a couple of strikers, as we said, Rasmus Højlund, who really wants to come to Manchester United. He's been outspoken about his desires to play in the Premier League, play for Man United. And, it'd be an easy deal for Manchester United to make happen on the player front if we can get a fee agreed for him. But United have to wait for a number of things to happen before we can do all of our business. and that is we need to sell a few players. You got the likes of McTominay, Fred, maybe one or both of them could go. You've got Harry Maguire, who's going to be looking to go. There's been rumours about Anthony Martial possibly leaving. If he goes, you need to sign 2 strikers. So I could imagine if United brought a striker in, we'd then potentially look for another if you can get a deal to happen for Martial to go the other way. We're hearing potentials for players to leave, and we do need to make some of those happen. Dean Henderson's another one. You make those deals happen, it frees up more budget for you to be able to sign players. We also got a limited budget up until we know who's going to be our owners. We're still in this limbo kind of period. We don't know who Manchester United's owners are going to be. Those owners could free up more funds, or maybe there'd be less funds, who knows. If they were to come in and the decision was to be made at some point soon, again, that's dragging on. So United's budget, we kind of don't know what it is until we see a few things happen with transfers, outgoings, and the potential takeover. But it looks like we've got around 100 million to spend before we get to those sales, and before you get to a potential new owner coming in. So if we can make a deal happen for Moises Caicedo, and then you can sell Harry Maguire, you can sell one of those midfielders that we mentioned, you can sell Dean Henderson, you're freeing up the budget for a goalkeeper, maybe a striker as well. Because even if a deal for Moises Caicedo was struck at, let's say, £70 million, I'd assume it wouldn't be £70 million up front. United may be paying £35 million up front. Again, freeing up more wiggle room for other signings. There's also the perspective here that Chelsea have been linked with Moises Caicedo quite a lot. I think the Manchester United link, and I think the interest is real. But this could also be a case where we're trying to put pressure on Chelsea, and we're saying, look, we're going to go for one of these players that you want to sign, and unless you give us a deal, we could potentially make Moises Caicedo more expensive for them. We could sign a player that they could potentially really want to sign. Mason Mount is clearly going to leave Chelsea, whether it's this summer, next summer. He's made it clear that he wants out of there. So United could be using this as a negotiation stance. We kind of go in for Moises Caicedo. Chelsea go, come on, we'll do a deal, this, that, and the other. So it's an interesting one, but I think it's a good move by Manchester United. As much as I want us to sign Mason Mount, I thought the £55 million offer that we made was fair, given that he's got a 1 year left on his contract. United could say, look, leave that on the leave that on the table there for Chelsea. And if you don't accept it, we'll just sign him on a free next summer, and then focus elsewhere and go and get a midfielder that you can maybe bring in and is available on the market. So it's an interesting move by United, but I think it could be the right one, and it could either trigger Chelsea into accepting the bid for Mason Mount, or you end up getting a really good midfielder as an alternative, even though the profile of the player is completely different. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on everything we've discussed here today. Moises Caicedo, Mason Mount, what you reckon is going to happen. Get your thoughts in the comments below. We'll see you soon.